Excuse the technical difficulties. We're trying to reset the system. Hi guys, it's Siobhan Muir. I know we're having technical difficulties, and so I'm not ignoring you. I'm honestly not ignoring you. Sometimes it takes a little refiguring and stuff like that, but we're here, we're live, we're awake, and hopefully the picture gets better because right now it looks really grainy. That's not such a great thing, but whatever. There you go. Good morning, Nellie. Good to see you. I hope things are going well for you. That's right. You're on the East Coast, so it's definitely afternoon for all y'all. Hi, Mary. How are you? I apologize. This morning was not quite worked out the way I expected, but I got hooked in a book, and I'm sorry, but you just can't let a book go. It's one of those things that as readers, I'm sure you know, but authors were readers first. And so when we get hooked in a book, it's like, I don't care what all y'all are doing. I'm going to finish this. um, so, so Mary says she's just getting up, so it's still morning. So, hey, that works for me. I'm truly hoping that the picture will even out and it'll be better, but it doesn't look like it is. In any case, I wanted to tell you what I was hooked in. So years ago, I don't know how I managed to come up with this, or maybe it was that I won a competition. Sometimes I enter those reader competitions so I can get a free book, because everyone loves winning a free book. That includes authors who, really enjoy, reading because as my Sunday morning tea, authors were readers first. We were terribly, hooked on books. Otherwise, and it was only until I read a book that pissed me off so bad, or at least pissed me off enough that I'm like, you know what? I would have written this different, so I'm going to. So I did. You got heard about a vampire out of it. There you go. So I won a book in a giveaway. It might have been a Goodreads giveaway. I don't know where I got it, but it was from one of these authors that I had read. I don't even know how I got hooked on her. Her name is Joanne Ross. And I got a hold of one of her books and I read it and I thought, wow, this is really good. I really enjoyed this. Well, she said, I have a new release coming, which was a while ago. And she said, anybody who wins, and joins my giveaway and all this stuff, will get an opportunity to take a look at, I guess, my backlist, because this book here was, even though I haven't touched it, it was available in 2010. So this is an older book. So when she said that, I said, well, all right, I'll enter the giveaway. I got lucky. I won the giveaway. So I got a signed book from her. And she said, which one do you want? So I read through some of the back blurbs of things and I came across this one. It's called The Homecoming. I didn't even remember the title. But she, not only did she signed it to me. You see? She totally signed it to me. She said, to Siobhan, I hope you enjoy this visit to the Oregon coast. And the reason I picked this book is because the hero is a former Navy SEAL, right? The heroine is a small town sheriff. She's a cop. And it's a romantic suspense. So there's people shooting at people. There's there's a mystery, there's a murder mystery going on. There's an old skull that shows up on the beach. I mean, what more can you want? So I've had this book for years, obviously. She signed it to me a while back. And so I found it in my piles of books. And I thought, all right, well, Navy SEAL, I'll read about that. So I started reading it. You can see I'm almost done. That's what I got hooked on today. I got totally hooked on this story because, like I said, murder mystery, retired Navy SEAL, small town cop who used to live in the big city, and so she learned all the big city cop tricks. Second chance at love for both her and her mom. I mean, it's been pretty good, and I really enjoyed it. It's a Shelter Bay novel, and I normally don't read contemporary romance in small towns. I don't normally read that stuff. That stuff doesn't grab me. But Joanne Ross is a storyteller that I will read. And she put together all the aspects that I like. I like romantic suspense. I like small town cops. I like former or current Navy SEALs. Done. She scored. So if you get a chance, you don't know anything about Shelter Bay, that's okay. You won't need to. If you get a chance, I recommend this book. It's called The Homecoming. I know it's kind of shiny, by Joanne Ross. It was a good story. And I kind of had a feeling I knew who the bad guy was, but there was all sorts of other red herring sort of events that happened, so you didn't quite know. But I figured. I'm sure y'all could figure it out too, but I was just enjoying the story so much. And of course, there's sex and there's romance and there's learning about each other, and she's a widow, right? So her husband had died, and who was the Navy SEAL's best friend. I mean, it was just, there's a whole bunch of connections that are really good. So if you get a chance and want to pick up some small town romantic suspense, and of course it happens in Oregon, which was just south of where I grew up in Washington State. So it was kind of like, oh yeah, I know the weather out there. I know you get the opportunity, the beaches and stuff like that. So it was kind of cool. Plus, she had named the hero's dog Velcro, and I'm just like, okay, I have to read a book where a dog's name is Velcro. That's pretty good. So yes, small town romance, but it's romantic suspense, and there's a pretty good threat on the sheriff's life. So I recommend it. But I wanted the point about showing this book is that I was a reader first. I picked up books and I went through them, and some of them made me happy and I wanted more, and some of them made me go, that's not how I would have written it, which means I went and wrote my own versions. And others were just like, did not finish. I've had a few of those. We all have our favorites. As an author, uh, sometimes my opinion carries more weight than if I was just a reader. And so I generally don't write reviews of books I don't like, right? Because number one, it doesn't help the author. It's already published. It didn't float my boat. There's no reason for me to say it sucked. It just didn't do it for me. Number two, if it didn't do it for me, then that just might be my personal bias or my personal issues, and the story didn't do anything for me. So there's no point in saying it sucked either. And the other thing is, if I'm an author and I'm leaving not so nice reviews for other authors, that just makes me look bad, as like I'm jealous of their success or I'm disappointed. I am human. I am a reader, and so I do have my opinions. But if I can't help them or make their work any better, you may make it to enough that I like it. There's no point in me saying anything, so I don't, because overall, I'm not really a jealous bitch. I am an author. This is, this is a business. Nobody's trying to, we all are in competition in the sense that we all want the reader's attentions and stuff like that. I'm a little bit of, yeah, as Mary says, I'm a little bit of a public figure. So, like I said, my opinion might carry a little more weight than just an ordinary reader. But I'm also not the kind of person that wants to drag down other authors, because not everyone's going to like my work, just like not everyone's going to like everyone else's work. And we all have opinions, so opinions are kind of like belly buttons. Everybody's got one. Now, I could say the more raunchy version, but there's no point in doing that. So, if I don't like the book, I usually don't say anything, because it's like, wasn't my thing. A lot of people like to rag on 50 Shades of Grey. It is definitely not my thing. But a lot of readers got into reading erotic romance, especially the BDSM side, because of 50 Shades of Grey. What I like to call it is 50 Shades of Grey is the gateway drug. It opens it up, and everybody wants to go and read all the stuff that's been out there far longer and in my opinion, better written. But the point is, it gets people involved in reading, and that's really, really important. Yeah, mom always said if you can't say anything nice. Well, and in my reviews, I usually try to pick on the things that really made me happy. Like, ooh, I really liked how this character was written, or I liked the voice of the author, or I like this, the storyline. That's what I try to focus on when I write my reviews, because I do write reviews. but they're only going to be about the books I like. And also I get really busy, like, writing. So sometimes I read books that I really liked and I still don't get a chance to review them. It's not that I haven't read them, and it's not that I don't care. It's just that I'm not supposed to be reading. I'm supposed to be writing my own. Good morning, Chandra. Welcome. So I if you don't see me write reviews, it's not because I'm afraid to. I'm not afraid to write reviews. It's just that if I don't like the book, then it didn't. I'm a mature enough adult to say, you didn't do it for me. Am I going to go to my friends and go, oh, don't read this? No, it didn't do it for me. It doesn't mean it won't do it for somebody else. So again, one of the first bad reviews that I got stunned me, not because I have a fragile ego. If you guys don't like my writing, I don't know what to tell you. That's my voice, and that's how I'm going to write. Now, I am improving as I get older, but, it's my writing, and I write the best story for me. So if you don't like it, well, I guess I didn't write it for you. That's the way it kind of goes. But the review I'm telling you about stunned me because the person said, this is the worst book I've ever read, kind of your standard fare. And then they said, don't ever read any more of her work. So instead of just saying, I didn't like it, it didn't distract me enough from whatever was going wrong in my life, it didn't, entertain me, she instead continued on and said, don't read any more of Siobhan Muir's work, to attacking my future work. Look, you don't like my work, I get it. It's not entertaining to you or it didn't grab your attention. I get it. Not all of us can do that. We don't all grab you. Not everybody can hear my voice and get entertained by it. I get that. But don't come to a public place where I work, essentially where I set out all my work, and say, don't read anything she's read. Number one, you're not a friggin' expert. You read one book. Number two, I don't come to your workplace and tell your boss, you know what? You suck at what you do. This person sucks at what they do. Please don't pay them. I don't attack anybody else's work. I don't even attack authors whose work I don't like. That's not none of my business. So I ask, if you don't like my work, which is very well possible, and whatever it is that I wrote didn't grab you, please say what you didn't like and then leave it at that. Because maybe you'll like a different book, or maybe you won't, but you don't need to attack my livelihood based on one book you've read that you didn't like. I don't do that to others. Please don't do it to me. If you're having a crappy day and you want to strike out at someone, go get a punching bag and beat the daylights out of it. But don't go online and say, don't read any more of this person's work because we all know it's going to suck. Yeah, you don't know that. And if you're feeling crappy, don't crap on my day too. So that was the only review that has ever made me go, really? Really? Is that how you feel? Well, why don't you take that and I said a lot of expletives. The point is, don't attack someone's future work. Just, if you don't like something, fine. Say you don't like it and move on. Certainly isn't any reason to hurt anyone. But anyway, I am a reader. So regardless of whether I write, I am a reader. If I don't like something, I just don't bother to say it or tell anybody about it. So I guess that the downside to not liking something is I don't promote it. But on the other hand, if I do like it, I will tell my friends about the books that I do like. Like Joanne Ross, The Homecoming. I totally recommend it. Lexi Post, The Mask. With the picture of my husband on the front. Read it. The other one from Lexi Post that I really enjoyed was called The Passion of Sleepy Hollow. Oh, that cover's nice too. Doesn't look like my husband, and the book's good. The cover's awesome and the book's good. Go pick it up. I totally recommend it. Best thing that happened this morning, though, when I woke up, I opened up my email and I saw that someone had bought some of my books. Yay! Happy day. Let me tell you, an author loves it when she gets that cha-ching sound. It's very nice because it's like someone's picked up my books. That's great. Let me think. Is there other authors I would recommend at this very moment? Well, I always have nice things to say about Sabrina York, especially her military romantic suspense and her cowboys. I love Jam Madden. Jam Madden was at the end of her one of her last Lost and Found books. She put out, it was called Embattled Home, and it was good. I really enjoyed it. But at the very last, she put a little epilogue or a little snippet of an upcoming story called, I don't even know if she's titled it yet, but it had to do with John Palmer's missing brother, Aiden. And let me tell you, I read the little snippet at the end and I'm like, I want more. When are you writing this? She's writing it right now. She's writing right now. Right now! And even better, she has added a paranormal element to it. So there's magic and enhanced creatures, almost like Steve Rogers. Remember in, Captain America? Kind of like that. Ooh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm like, when are you finishing? When are you finishing? When are you See, I'm a reader too. And so J.M. Madden's got a new one coming that I'm looking forward to. And when I can, I will tell you all about it. Um, yeah, so J.M. Madden, I like Silver James's books. I particularly like her Moonstruck Wolves and, because they're wolf shifters. And some of her hard target military stuff. She's only written one book in that series, but there's more coming. So if you get a chance to read Silver James, I recommend it. Hi, Tanya. I'm so glad you had fun at the Rare Book event, Tanya. Heidi Rundle said she had gone to that too, and it was really fantastic. So I'm glad to hear that you had a great time. Nice to see you again. Um, yeah, so I have my favorite books, of course, and my favorite authors, and I'll talk them up. And if I don't like a book or two by that particular author, I just don't mention that book or two. Kat Johnson is another military romance author that I really like. I read some of her cowboys, and they didn't click with me as much. But I really liked her military. So if you get a chance to read her Red, Hot, and Blue series, they're they're pretty good books. And of course her Hot Seals. I got the opportunity to write in her Hot Seals Kindle world, and so that's where you'll meet Rimshot's Hard Target and Darwin's Evolution. Those are the two books that I put in her Kindle world, and they're hot Navy SEALs that got a chance to do their own story, and they, with Darwin spun off to Ultimate Recon, which is my other series, military series. So that one. Have I read any from P.T. Mackay? No, I have not, Tanya. I have not. Um, I don't know that name, so I'll have to look that name up. See. Um, I'm a big fan. I love military romantic suspense. Matter of fact, the only contemporary romance I'll read, honestly, is romantic suspense because normal everyday romance problems don't interest me. I live in them. I kind of experience them. And it's kind of like, dude, if you just had a conversation, all this would be cleared up. Why don't you talk? Pet peeve of mine. So I tend to read romantic suspense. So not only are the characters working with their inner demons of why they can't get together, but then they have somebody else sneaking up on them, whether it's a stalker or a serial killer or somebody from the past who's jealous. I need that extra external conflict to make it entertaining for me. She's done paranormal military. Ooh, I might have to take a look at that. That sounds good, PT. I really like that idea. PT, is it? Yeah, it's Machias. Okay, I'll definitely look that up. I have to see if there's anything I wanna read. What did I just pick up recently? Someone sent me a oh, it was L James. She sent me an email. I'm on her mailing list because she writes military romantic suspense. Hello. And she said, I have a new book coming out. So I went, oh, okay, I better check. And so I opened up her email and I thought, ooh, this sounds really good. So I picked up the book that came out, which I should probably go and look and see which one that is. Oh, did you want to know that? I think it is. No, not that one. It is. It would be nice to know if it told me here. Let's see. It's loading all the Amazon ones. It's not going to tell me. Oh, Wyatt's War. Hearts and Heroes, book 1, I think, is the new one that I picked up because it looked really interesting. She had already published it, so it's already been, but it's a re-release. But she ended up, you know, she ended up getting a new version of it, um, and putting it out. Ooh, did I freeze? Guys, did I freeze? Looks like I froze. Is that true? Thinking that's kind of weird. I apologize. Let me see what I can do on this end. It looks like I froze. All right, give me a moment. Don't go anywhere. I might have to come back and restart the system. So give me a moment and I will start over again, all right? So hold on. Don't go anywhere. We've got sound. Oh, that's good. Okay. I should be back. I should be back. Am I here? Do you see me? Yes! Okay. So I'm here. All right. I wasn't trying to ignore you, honest. Um, Now, can I remember what we were talking about before? Probably not. I'll probably just, wing it at this point. But what I did want to tell you is that um, thank you for the book recommendation. Matter of fact, I should probably write that down. But thank you for that recommendation. I will definitely look that person up. And thank you for being patient with the technical difficulties because, technical difficulties, they make the world go round or something. you know, Something like that. All right. PT. All right. I can't write very well with left-handed, but there you go. And it says, oh yes, it's queued that right up. All right, okay. So, the big thing about it is that we are readers as well, but to keep everybody from getting angry that we might say something wrong, we only usually most authors really only post happy reviews, the reviews of the books that they really liked. Also, some that say, well, I won't post anything over 3 stars or under 3 stars. Some say I won't even post anything under 4 stars, just because authors come in a bunch of different breeds, but one of them is a lot of people have ego, and rightfully so, right? And they're worried that if you said something like, well, the story was it didn't grab me, but it was pretty good in this, that, and the other thing. I give it 3 stars. Suddenly they're like, oh, you hated my book, and as a reader, I'm like, well, no, I gave it 3 stars, and this is the things I liked about it. They don't see it that way. They say it's not a 5 star. It's obviously sucks. No, but again, my opinion as an author carries a little more weight than say just an ordinary reader. So I try to keep my reviews positive. And and again, there are some stories that just knock me off my rocker, and other ones that are just like, no, this was pretty good. And then there's some that's like, I didn't finish it, and I'm not going to tell you about it. So yeah, James book. And there are those people you kind of work with, right? And you don't want to hurt their feelings. There are some of my colleagues that I really like them as people, and I really like that we share ideas and stuff like that. And some of their work just is not my cup of tea. And again, it's not my cup of tea. It doesn't mean that readers should feel bad about reading them. No. I love my author colleagues, and they're all really good at what they do. They're storytellers, and that's what's really most important. I do have my favorites because I'm a reader, but really, that's what's most important. Um, and I try to support all of my reader or writer colleagues, author colleagues, because we all win if I support them. It's lifting everybody up, not just me and not just them. It's just everyone. So that's really important to me too, because um, they are my colleagues, but also there are plenty of readers out there. And just because readers like to read military romance doesn't mean they don't like reading paranormal. Readers don't just read one genre most of the time. There are some that are like, no, I just read contemporary romance, or I just read military, or I just read Western, whatever, But the majority of readers out there I have found tend to read a wide variety of genres. As long as it's got romance in it, they're like, yeah. Now, I will tell you, years ago, I met another colleague at the publisher that I was working with. And she said, I only read contemporary romance. I said, oh, okay. Yeah, I write paranormal and that sort of thing. And then she decided, well, I'm going to pick up a couple of your paranormals. I'm like, all right, well, whatever. She came back to me a little while later and said, oh my God, your paranormal was so good. I was just so hooked. I don't read paranormal, but yours is so great. So even authors who just used to read only one thing will go and read something else if the story is good enough. So if you can pull off the story elements that a reader loves, it doesn't matter if they're human or not, they're cowboy or not, they're military or not. Mary says, I read characters. Yeah, and Tanya says, I'm a book whore. As long as the story is good, I'll read it. That's exactly it for me too, Tanya. If you can hook me with your story, I'm all over it. And I don't tend to be interested in, like I said, contemporary, but that doesn't mean if it's not well written, because this is contemporary romance. If it's not well written, I won't read it. But if it is, I'm all over it. So there you go. I'm definitely a story type person. I picked up a story that I thought would be good, and I started reading it, and I was like, wow, didn't live up to your blurb. And again, I gave it a chance because I was really interested in the story. The story sounded interesting, and then it just, didn't. It didn't entertain me. It didn't grab me. And that's okay. But I'll bet you a lot of other readers really loved it. That's the best thing about it, is that there are readers that will love love different things. And that's important to remember. And as an author who was a reader, that's the thing too. I have my own, I want to read this, I want to read that, I don't want to read this, that sort of thing. It has nothing to do with me being an author and trying to drag anyone down. I don't do that. I don't do that. That doesn't make me a winner. Normally I don't read historical, but I love Kerrigan Byrne. You know what? Normally I don't read historical either, but I will read Kate Pierce. I will read all of Kate Pierce's stuff. I love Kate Pierce. She's quite a storyteller. Same with Sabrina York. I'm not, like I said, I haven't tripped into her historical, but she's really known to be historical romance author, and she's a good storyteller. So I can't imagine her historical is, yeah, I don't think so. I bet it's pretty good. I'm not. I don't read a lot of Western romance, a lot of cowboy romance, but I've found like Sabrina York. I have found the other ones that are on my shelves. I can't think of the other ones. My mind is drawing a blank. Now, granted, most of my shelves are full of military, romantic suspense, paranormal romance. There is one small town contemporary cowboy romance I read, and that's from Silver James. She writes the Red Dirt Royalty series from Harlequin, and I'll read the daylights out of it. I don't read contemporary romance, and I don't read contemporary cowboy romance, but I'm all over hers. I love Sabrina Dew. Stalked her at my first weekend with the authors. Sabrina is an amazing person, because in addition to being funny and smart and writing funny, smart romance, she's also a people person. She's really interactive, and it's so great to hang out with her. When she and I get together, we don't our we get together for coffee or breakfast. It doesn't last shorter than 3 hours. She and I will talk for 3 or more hours. She and I just get together, and that's the end of it. And you might not see us for like maybe the whole day. Last time Mr. SN joined us for breakfast, he's like, I can't believe it. You guys stopped, didn't you talked nonstop for like 3.5, 4 hours. I'm like, I know. She's an amazing person, and she's a great storyteller. So pick up a Sabrina York. I recommend it. So J.M. Madden's cool to talk to. Funny lady. Funny and dry humor. J.M. Madden is cool because she used to be a small town cop. And she's pretty darn cool. And she has a lot of the cop knowledge that periodically I will ask her for some suggestions and help because she's very knowledgeable. Silver James. Silver James is a Renaissance woman. She's pretty much done everything. I mean, she's been a forensic first responder. She has been, worked with a firefighter. She has worked with the cops. She's worked with what was the other one? The army. She's been doing everything, and she's smart and sharp, and she knows all this stuff. So it's like, and I went to her and I said, Sabrina or Silver, can you tell me how, what the military jargon is? I go to experts. If I don't know it, I go to experts because, I can't know everything. That's what the experts are for. That's why they're there. Go ask them. And it's important to do that, to remember that I can't know everything. I just can't. But I have my fields of knowledge and, background. And that's why I go to people that know it better than me. I hang her on her under. Yeah, yeah. She used to be an MMA fighter. Yeah, I know. Isn't it amazing? Some of these women, you think, oh, they're just romance authors. Well, they had a life before they became a romance author, and some of those lives are amazing. So remember that these women are a lot more than we are, all a lot more than we look. That's why I like computers and writing. You learn, and I'm a learning junkie. That's exactly it. One of the, a lot of people don't know my background at all, and it's really funny when I'll spout off something and they're like, "Where did you learn that?" I'm like, "Well, I got my master's degree in." All right, that seems like another life, but I did get my master's degree in paleontology. I actually, know a few things. Other than just writing romance. I've always been a storyteller, but now I actually have a degree. And it's funny because people go, I didn't know you'd know that. I know, we look so normal, don't we? So, I highly recommend some of these authors, and it's because I was a reader first. And there are some authors I have met as a reader, and I was not impressed with the person. Now, their storytelling was fantastic, and I like reading their books, but the person I didn't like. I was like, nice to meet you. Have a good one. Now, they might not like me either. I tend to be direct, and I'm gregarious, and many authors in romance tend to be introverts, and so I'm an extrovert. So interacting, sometimes I have to tone down my energy, be a little more quiet, and it's okay. It's okay. I recognize that I can be kind of loud, and that's all right. I get that, and fortunately, I have figured out how to be a little quieter and interactive around people that are a lot more shy, and I try to be. And that's probably why Sabrina likes me, is that I don't bowl her over entirely. But I hope things are really going well for you guys. Thank you for joining me this morning, even with the technical difficulties, which were so strange. I've never seen it freeze like. At least I didn't have a weird, expression on my face like. That would have been bad if it froze right there. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. There is a pre-order and a snippet on my on my blog. So if you go to my blog, which I'm not going to put, last time we tried putting my link in there, it added a whole bunch of stuff to the end of it, and then you get a 404 message because of the stuff it added. But if you go to SiobhanMuir.com, so my name, Siobhan Muir, SiobhanMuir.com, and hover over Siobhan's blog, it'll bring a drop-down menu. But if you click on Siobhan's blog, you'll get the snippet. It's Snippet Sunday, and you will get a snippet of the book that's coming out on March 22nd. That's right, you will get a little bit of it. And I do have a cover for it, but I can't show you the cover until it comes out of the box set. So the cover that's up right there is for the box set that is on pre-order for 99 cents. You can get 13 tales for less than $1. Okay, so it's only a penny less than $1, but still less. So Tanya says, I've met a few authors who came across in not a nice way. Suppose fame got to their head. That's a possibility, Tanya. No idea. I don't see, being famous is great, but my readers are what makes me famous to begin with. So there you go. Puts a new twist on that thing Mom used to say, to her face will freeze like that. your face will freeze like that. Yeah, you don't do that, or your face will freeze like that. Can it freeze like this? With like a one eyebrow up? I could be like Spock. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well, and thank you for joining me. If you want a chance to read some of the new story, it is up on my blog, and it's up on pre-order. And then I will be talking about, I'm pretty sure once that thing comes out, I'll be talking about a new book. So I hope things are going well for you. Club hand doesn't type well. I get that. All right. So have a great weekend. I will talk to you next weekend for the Saturday Evening Soliloquy on SMTV on YouTube. And I hope you have a marvelous weekend and a marvelous week. May it go well for you. And I will talk to you soon. Okay. Bye-bye.